And that was just something my mom had to deal with. If she didn't like it, she got beat up. Like, my father has broken my mom's jaw multiple times. He's broken her arm. He's broken her ribs. He's broken her legs. Like, the abuse was every single day. You know, like, I don't know if it was the coke binges, because his drug of choice was cocaine. He used to shoot cocaine, heroin. My father had hepatitis C from shooting up drugs. And later on in life, when he passed away, he was addicted to crack cocaine. I don't know what turned him into the devil. He would be on the road a lot when he would travel with his band and stuff. And I remember those were like the best times that we would have when he was gone, just with our mom. We would, like, me and my brother, we would be like excited, but we wouldn't like want to show too much excitement until he left. So while he would be like there, like if we know he's getting ready to go on the road, you know, we're all like, you know, oh Dad, we're gonna miss you, you know, that helping him pack his bag and stuff, getting stuff that he might need around the house, and really kind of just staying out of the way, you know, until we heard that door close, and then it was like, woo, party. We normally actually would do things like we would play school. So we would get out like paper and give them assignments. And so like Snake Eyes would be with Nap, and they'd be in the classroom and we'd be giving them math assignments and stuff like that. So we would be playing teacher. When my sister would play along with us, it would like be weird, you know? Like me and my brother were like these children, you know, trying to play children's games, but like my sister was trying to play adult games. And what I mean by that, like she would want to play stuff like Doctor, Mommy and Daddy. And when I think about it now, I'm like, wow, like she was acting out like what she was going through. And we did, like when we would play Mommies and Daddies, like we would make the dolls like have sex with each other and stuff like that. But that's what we called it, playing Mommies and Daddies. And but you know, when my sister would like take it further, like actual sexual, to me then I don't know, I was just really confused, you know. But we were at peace. There was no screaming and hollering, it was no crying, it was no fighting. You know, like I used to pee myself like when I would hear him coming up the steps, because I just knew what was coming. And whenever he was on the road or whenever he was gone, we were able to just be children, you know, play around the house. My mom would play the money game with us. For instance, we would, like with my mom, we would watch like the Cosby Show and stuff. So like in Living Color, Cosby Show, and A Different World, they would all come on like Monday night back to back. So like we'd be just all laughing and having a good time. Then we hear the car pull into the driveway and we just like scatter, you know. We go upstairs, you know, act like we're going to sleep. He would be gone for like a week at a time, like three to 4 days or a week at a time. And we would just be normal, you know, like our mom, we would see our mom happy, not crying all the time, or black eyes, busted lips. Like, it was just normal to see our mother like that. And during them times, you couldn't call the cops on your husband. You know, they didn't care about domestic violence the way that they do now. I remember times where my dad would be beating my mom so bad that, and he would like to make us get naked when he would beat us. So it's flesh, your flesh is getting hit. So like, she ran out the house butt naked one time and ran down the street screaming, and the police brought her right back to the house and did nothing to him. And he didn't do nothing but beat her more for running out the house. So like, we learned at like an early age, like you couldn't do anything, you couldn't say anything. The police really definitely didn't care about black people back then. And we just learned to accept life the way that it was and just not say anything. And just, you know, it kind of depends what mood he was in. You know, as soon as he get done beating her up and she couldn't take no more, he would come for us, wake us up. You couldn't even sleep at night just because he just want to beat up people. And it's like we would hear him when he would come home, and he would start with my mom, and we would know like automatically like he's coming for us. So like we would just get prepared for it. As soon as we hear him coming up them steps, like we'd start crying, begging him not to hit us and stuff. And he'd be like, take your effing clothes off. And we take our clothes off, and he would make us stand in a line. And like we would like literally be debating on who's gonna go first, and my sister always took them punches first. Always. I wish that she was in my life today, because I feel like we could really be there for each other. And she don't even understand how much I thank her for telling somebody, because I probably never would have told. And I was just afraid of him. Like every time I thought about taking a knife and stabbing him, I felt like he would just take the knife out and turn around like he was all powerful. Like he used to tell us he was God, and I thought that he could never die, like this boogeyman, this monster. The stenching cords, the long cords that he would hook the equipment up, that's what he would beat us with. So whenever like he would tell us to get naked, you were subject to get beat with whatever was in reaching distance, and it was always these thick cords that would break your flesh open. And every time he would beat us, he would keep us like away, like we couldn't go outside or we couldn't go to school. And back then it wasn't no truancy or nothing. If you was missing for like a whole 30 days, they didn't care. All you could do is say, we're out of town or something like that, and there's no follow-up. But no, we was healing. We couldn't go to school, because if we would have got sent to school, we wouldn't have got sent back home. And you just learn to like not say anything. To this day, like he beat my mom so much, she has embedded whelps in her back like a slave. Like if my mom took off her shirt, you can still see all the wire marks where he broke her skin. And just over the years, just being beat so many times with wires and your flesh being broke, like her back looks like a slave. And I'm sure those are memories for her that never go away. Like he used to beat my mom so bad, like he would even involve us at times, like it was almost like a mental thing that he was trying to break us mentally. Like he would put plastic garbage bags over my mom's head and put duct tape around it and duct tape her hands and duct tape her feet in like a hog position. And like she would just be like shaking. He would be laughing. And we would all be screaming and crying because he would make us watch. And then like as soon as she would stop kicking, and I guess he would be scared, like maybe she's losing her oxygen, he would bust a hole in the bag. And then she would start gasping for air, just begging him to stop. Butch, please, begging him to stop. Then he would tell us to beat her. He would give us the extension cord and make us beat her. And like if we didn't hit her hard enough, he would hit us. So we're like begging him, please, because we didn't want to hit our mom. So it would go down the line. He would give my sister the extension cord. My sister would be hitting my mom. He'd be just laughing. Then he'd give the cord to my brother. My brother would be hitting my mom. And it would always be me. Like, I could not do it, Like, I would not want to hit my mom. And, like, I would just try to do it, like, really light. And then he would hit me hard with another extension cord. And I'm screaming and crying. And then, like, my mom would just be, like, laying on the ground, barely able to move. And she would just be begging me to hit her because she wouldn't want me to be hit by him. And she'd be like, She'd be like, baby, just hit me. Please, hit me. And I didn't want to hit her. And then I remember, like, one time he hit me so hard that I just, like, I spazzed out. And I started hitting my mom, like, really, really hard. But that's just like, this was every day. Every day. It's like he never got enough of hurting you. He would punch holes in the wall. He would take hammers and bust out all the TVs, bust out all the mirrors. Like, everything was to intimidate you. I remember he blew our dog's brains out in front of us. He, like, literally just took the dog outside and blew his brains out. I was trying to give him some lettuce and the dog bit me on my hand. But he had been in a rage, like, all that day. And I feel like the dog was just somebody he could execute or take his anger out on. And he made us watch, you know. So it was kind of more of like a intimidation thing. Like I want all y'all to fear me. You know, I can kill one of y'all at any given moment if I want to. And I'll never get that out of my head. That dog's brains just flying on the side of the house like that. He's put guns to our heads. He would just be saying things like, you love them more than you love me. And she would just be begging him not to do that. And, like, he would spin the thing and put the gun to our head and, like, pull the trigger. I don't know if it was bullets in it or not, but, like, I remember how terrified my mom was. Like, how she was screaming and hollering and begging him to stop. And he just would be laughing like he thought it was funny. You didn't sleep. When he would come home, I would hear his car pull up in the driveway. Like, I peed myself before. You know, like, literally physically shaking, peed myself. When I would hear him pulling into the driveway, I would immediately go get in my closet and hide. As soon as I would hear, like, the screaming of my mother, you know, you just knew it was coming, you know. So it just was never a moment's peace. She got it the worst because she always tried to stand up for us. Like, she would always, like, when my dad would be beating us, she would just get in the middle and just say, beat me. Like, she would want to take it for us. And I remember the one time where she did that when he was fighting my mom, and she tried to get in the middle, and he was like, you want to be grown? And he did her the same way he did my mom. Like, he made her get naked and duct taped her hands and her wrists together, like in a hog tie position, and was beating both of them with extension cords. And, like, me and my brother was just in the room crying, holding each other, and we knew that he was going to come to us next. And he was he had so much tape on them, he couldn't even get the tape off. And he was looking for the scissors, and he came into our room, he kicked my door in, and he was telling us we had 5 seconds to find the scissors or he was going to beat our ass too. So we didn't want to be duct taped, you know, and stuff. So we're crying, like, I'm begging God, like, please, you know, where are these scissors at? And we did not know where the scissors was at. And I looked everywhere, and like, he left us, went back out there, was like beating on them some more. They were screaming and hollering. So, like, all we're just hearing is screaming, hollering, and we're like, we're gonna be next. And I just sat there in the middle of the floor and just started crying and begging God to just give us the scissors. And I swear to God, God put them scissors right there, because I looked underneath my bed 1,000 times. Them scissors was not there. Literally, I did my hand like this, and the scissors was right there by my hand. And when we gave him the scissors, that was the only thing that stopped him from duct taping us and beating us, because he was like, if y'all don't find those scissors,